Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learning English with Podcast Conversation. I'm your host, Tony, and today we have a topic that I think many of us can relate to. How to stop caring what people think. It's something that can really hold us back, isn't it? Today we're going to explore why we care so much and practical ways to free ourselves from that burden. And I'm thrilled to introduce our special guest, Jenny, an expert in personal development and self-confidence. Welcome, Jenny.
Hi, Tony. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and talk about this. It's a topic that's very close to my heart, actually. I think almost everyone at some point struggles with this feeling of caring too much about what others might say or think. So I'm ready to dive in.
Absolutely, Jenny. So let's start with the big question. Why do we care so much about what other people think? Is it just, part of being human, or is there more to it?
That's a fantastic question, Tony. I think it's a mix of things. First, evolutionarily speaking, humans are social creatures. We've always relied on our tribe for survival. So being accepted, being part of the group, was literally a matter of life or death. Our brains are still wired to seek approval. Second, it's about our need for belonging and connection. We want to feel loved, understood, and valued. And sometimes, we mistakenly believe that if others approve of us, then we are valuable. And then there's the fear of judgment, of course. No one wants to be laughed at or rejected. It's a very uncomfortable feeling.
That makes a lot of sense. The evolutionary part is really interesting, so it's almost like a survival instinct that's now working against us in modern society sometimes. And with social media today, it feels like this pressure is even stronger. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely, Tony. Social media has definitely amplified it. Before, you might only care what your family, friends, and maybe a few colleagues thought. Now with Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you're constantly exposed to opinions from hundreds, even thousands of people. Every photo, every post, every comment is potentially open to public judgment. It creates this constant feedback loop where people are seeking likes and validation, and it can be really addictive and unhealthy. It blurs the line between real life and online perception, making it harder to just be yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like everyone's a critic now, and everyone has an opinion on everything. So if we care too much, what are the negative effects on our lives? What happens if we don't overcome this?
Well, the list is pretty long, actually. The most obvious one is that it stops us from being our authentic selves. We start to make choices based on what we think others want, not what we truly want. This can lead to insecurity, anxiety, and even depression. We might miss out on amazing opportunities because we're too afraid of what others will say if we try something new and fail. Imagine someone not pursuing their dream job because their parents wanted them to be a doctor, or not wearing clothes they love because they worry about fashion trends. It stifles creativity, self-expression, and ultimately, our happiness. We become, like a chameleon, constantly changing our colors to fit in, and we lose touch with who we really are.
Wow, that's powerful. Losing touch with who we really are. That's a scary thought. It sounds like it can really limit our potential. But Jenny, there's a difference, right, between caring what people think and being considerate. We don't want to just be rude or selfish, do we?
Exactly. That's a crucial distinction, Tony. Not caring what people think doesn't mean being rude, arrogant, or inconsiderate. It means you're not allowing external opinions to dictate your internal state or your core decisions. Being considerate is about showing respect, empathy, and kindness towards others. For example, if you're in a library, you whisper because you're considerate of others, not because you're afraid someone will judge your loud voice. The difference lies in the motivation. Are you doing something because you genuinely want to be kind and respectful, or because you're terrified of negative judgment? It's about finding that balance.
I see. So it's about the why behind our actions. That's a great way to put it. Now, knowing all this, why is it still so difficult for us to stop caring? It sounds so simple when you say it, just don't care, but it's really hard in practice.
It is hard, Tony, because it's deeply ingrained. Our brains have developed patterns over years, sometimes since childhood. If you grew up in an environment where approval was conditional or where mistakes were heavily criticized, you learn to seek external validation. It's a habit. Also, there's the spotlight effect, which is a psychological phenomenon where we tend to believe that people are paying more attention to us than they actually are. We think everyone notices our little mistakes or our new haircut, but in reality, most people are too busy thinking about themselves. They have their own worries and concerns. So it's difficult to break these habits and biases.
The spotlight effect. That's a great term. I definitely feel that sometimes. Like, I'll wear a slightly different shirt, and I'll think everyone's staring, but probably no one even notices. Let's talk about personal stories now. Jenny, do you have any personal experiences where you really struggled with caring what people thought and how you started to overcome it?
Oh, absolutely, Tony. I have so many. One time, years ago, I decided to take up, salsa dancing. I had always loved dancing, but I was so incredibly shy and worried about looking silly. I imagined everyone in the class laughing at my clumsy moves. For weeks, I hesitated. But then, a friend convinced me to just try one class. And you know what? Everyone was so focused on their own steps, and the instructor was so encouraging. Nobody was judging me. I was the only one judging myself. That was a big aha moment for me. I realized that my fear was mostly in my own head. After that, I actually started to love it, and I went on to join a performance group. It taught me that often the imagined judgment is far worse than the reality.
Wow, that's a fantastic story, Jenny. Salsa dancing. I can totally relate to that feeling of looking silly. For me, it was actually when I started this podcast. I had this idea for a long time, but I kept thinking, what if my English isn't perfect enough? What if people don't like my voice? What if I sound awkward? I worried that my friends or family would listen and think, oh, Tony is trying to be a podcaster now. That's funny. I spent months overthinking it. But then I thought, you know what? This is something I really want to do. I focused on the value I wanted to bring to English learners. And honestly, once I pressed record, those fears started to fade. And the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. It taught me that most people are actually supportive. And even if someone doesn't like it, that's okay. It's not for everyone, and that's fine.
That's a perfect example, Tony. You pushed past that initial discomfort, and look at you now. You're helping so many people. It's truly inspiring. So knowing that it's a journey, what are some practical strategies or techniques that our listeners can use to start caring less about what people think?
Yes, let's get into the actionable tips. What can someone do starting today?
Okay, the first strategy is to know your values. What is truly important to you? Is it honesty, creativity, kindness, adventure? When you know your core values, it becomes much easier to make decisions that align with them, rather than with what others might expect. If adventure is a core value, you're more likely to take that exciting trip, even if some people think it's too risky. This helps you build an internal compass.
That makes so much sense. So, instead of looking outside for approval, you're looking inside for guidance. What's next?
Second, mottos her nachami mamamur singing practice self-compassion and build self-esteem. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. We are often our own harshest critics. Start celebrating your small victories, acknowledging your strengths, and forgiving your mistakes. The more confident you feel in yourself, the less you'll seek validation from others. Try journaling about what you like about yourself, or focusing on your achievements, no matter how small.
Self-compassion. I think that's a skill many of us need to develop more. It's so easy to be hard on ourselves. What's another important tip?
Third, Diskani Basham understand that people are mostly thinking about themselves. This goes back to the spotlight effect. Most of the time, that person you think is judging you is actually thinking about their own bills, their own day, or what they're going to have for dinner. Their opinion of you is usually fleeting and not as important as you imagine. This isn't to say their feelings don't matter, but it helps put their judgment in perspective. It can be quite freeing to realize this.
Haha, that's a good one. What they're going to have for dinner. It really does put things into perspective. It reminds me not to take things too personally. Do you have any more strategies for us?
Yes. A fourth strategy is to limit exposure to negative influences. If there are specific people or groups that consistently make you feel judged or insecure, consider limiting your time with them, or at least setting boundaries. This also applies to social media. If certain accounts make you feel bad about yourself, unfollow or mute them. Protect your energy and mental space.
That's super important. It's like curating your environment to support your well-being. And finally, Jenny, do you have a fifth takeaway for our listeners?
My fifth and final takeaway is embrace authenticity, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. This means showing up as your true self, imperfections and all. When you are authentic, You attract people who truly appreciate you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. It might feel scary initially, like standing naked in front of a crowd, but it's the only path to genuine connection and inner peace. Start small. Share an unpopular opinion with a trusted friend. Wear something you love, even if it's out of style, or try a new hobby without worrying about being good at it immediately. The more you practice authenticity, the easier and more liberating it becomes.
Wow, standing naked in front of a crowd? That's a powerful image, Jenny. But it perfectly captures the feeling. And the idea of starting small, sharing an unpopular opinion, or just wearing something you love, that sounds very achievable. These are truly fantastic and actionable tips.
I hope so. It's a journey, not a destination, but every small step makes a difference.
It really is a journey. So to recap our key learning points for today's episode, first, know your values asterisk to guide your decisions. Second, Billy Currim's key learnus marked as self-compassion and build self-esteem asterisk to strengthen your inner confidence. Third, understand that people are mostly thinking about themselves, not judging you. Fourth, tops to limit exposure to negative influences asterisk to protect your mental space. And fifth, and perhaps most importantly, embrace authenticity even if it feels uncomfortable at first, because that's where true freedom lies.
Perfect summary, Tony. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Jenny, thank you so much for sharing your insights and wisdom with us today. This has been an incredibly insightful and inspiring conversation. I'm sure our listeners will take away so much from it.
It was my absolute pleasure, Tony. Thank you for having me. And to all the listeners, remember, your worth is not determined by external opinions. You are enough, just as you are.
Such an important message to end on. And to all our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who might benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe to Learning English with Podcast Conversation for more engaging discussions. Until next time, keep being your amazing, authentic selves. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.